Hey man, I know y'all seen the $2,000 heard around the church community. There was a young. First of all, hold on, wait. I put it up there in the jumbo. Let me play it for y'all. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Let me find it real quick. There was a lady in the church house. She walked up to the pulpit with her probably her grandson. Looked like her grandson. Grandson was skinning and grinning. Nice little Easter suit on. Walked up there and handed the pastor $1,200 in an envelope like a drug transaction. And she said, "Here you go, champ." And he said, "I asked you for 2,000, not 1,200." And she said something, and then he was like, "Yeah, that's not what I said. Y'all don't listen." Let me play it real quick though, because it seemed
Yeah, because
crazy.
I did not see that.
All right, hold on, wait, real quick. Let me get it right. Let me get it right.
The vision of perfect. I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfected church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated. Now that's only $1,200. Yes. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000. Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800. Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. I, Roberta McCoy.
First of all, we got to talk about this shiny suit that little man got on. It's big as hell. Never seen nothing like it. This suit is unreal. Easter in April, ain't it?
Thank you. You know this remind the suit. Yeah, I mean, but look at the granny. I can see how you got
Granny.
that
Is
suit. I
this not religious psychosis though? Like the woman allowing someone talk to her like that?
So listen, that I wanted to because you know
mm,
how folks get. Kendra say I be
yeah.
editing stuff. It's a liar. Her pants is on fire.
Don't ever call me
But
Kendra again in
oh,
your
my
He
fuck
bad,
loves
ass
calling
Kenya.
you
life.
Kendra.
Listen,
He loves calling you Kendra.
it
It's a
just rolls.
microaggression because I'm a woman.
It just rolls off the tongue. My bad, Kenya. But Kenya says I edit things and I don't. But this seems edited crazy. Not gonna hold you. Um, it seems like the
How you
pastor,
know it's edited?
uh, in my humble opinion, it seems like the pastor specifically asked for $2,000, and everybody came up there with they 2 grand, and she wanted
Yeah.
to be a part of the party, but she was
When
$800
she
short.
could have just not given at all if it wasn't the 2 grand that was requested. Is basically what you're saying.
Yes, because
Got
that's
it.
not
Got
what
it.
he
Got it.
asked for.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I've seen that. I've seen this before. I think that's the only thing I've seen it before. It's certain churches that operate that way. I know that typically they're saying it's for a fundraiser. I already told the story about the church that I left. Sweetest, like when me and Ebony were doing our church hopping, the same church that like Krishan goes to now, like Spirit of Faith, the youth service, even it wasn't really the youth service. They had basically, all of the branches of the church had met. And I think it was for the holidays, it was for like Christmas or something. So we all met at the main campus. And I didn't know that it was, supposed to be like some big donation day, but they did the service and then they blocked it off, and then they had like these tiers of givers. So there were people coming up with their 100,000, who giving 200,000, who giving 50, who giving 40, who giving 30, and then it trickled down to the lesser people with the lesser money. But after they had did that, and they put it on the jumbo screen, like as they were reaching, I guess the goal was to hit $1 million. So they hit $1 million. Me and Ebony is looking around because I'm like, we struggling to pay our rent, bitch. Like what's going on? So then I kid you not, the usher people came with the collection plate for us, the regular folk. I said, man, get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here. They not gonna
That's
raise $1 million
insane.
in my face
Hold on,
and
hold
I'm
on,
trying
hold on,
to
hold
ask
on.
my broke ass for some coin.
Hold on, wait. You think that those folks paid your offering tab?
Yeah.
Stop it. God, that don't count.
Rashad,
God said, where your
Rashad,
money
I
at?
think you're rage baiting, and I think you're trying to get
No,
me out of character. You're
no.
triggering me.
God said, where
Uh,
your money at?
I was like, this is absolutely insane. Mind you, I already told you, like the pastor's daughter, they're a very wealthy. You could look them like they're a very wealthy, well-known family. The daughter's always Chanel out, Chanel out, Chanel out. And I'm looking at the culmination of young women, and it's a youth service that typically we go to. So it's a lot of young women, a lot of young women with children, a lot of single mothers. And y'all want these ladies' ties while you sitting up there? Man, no. I didn't like that because I felt like I didn't personally see enough of the give back that like they were doing, I guess, for the community, because all of the events that they had for the church, it wasn't free. So when they had the women's conferences or the young girls conferences, all you have to pay for the tickets. Like, I just didn't see where the money was being like put back in, that I have seen in other situations. So maybe I would feel a bit better about it then. But in these certain instances, I don't know. I
Let
feel
me
like
ask
the
you a question, Kenya. How old were you when this happened?
I was 18, I was like 21. Yeah, I was 20, 21.
How much money you had in your pocket?
In my purse, I probably only had like $20 in there, if
That's
anything.
why you mad. You know how the reverse psychology that y'all be trying to do with niggas,
What?
and where you ask a nigga for some money and he say no, and y'all be like, oh, you just broke. You just did that in real time, and we seen
Are
it.
you kidding
Are you
me,
We
gonna
just
Rashad?
seen it.
That's
agree?
not. You're not allowed. I'm not gonna let you get that off because
We
that's
seen
not.
it.
Those are false
What's
equivalencies.
wrong
No,
with
it's
him?
If I
not.
just
Yes, it
seen a
is.
church make
Because
a
if you got
million
offering to give, you'll
dollars,
get an offering.
no.
It wasn't about me having the offering to give. I had the offering to give because typically, now I hadn't officially joined the church, but I would typically always give my little 5, 10 anytime I go to church. That's just, that's just what I would do. So it wouldn't have been anything different, but I did have a problem with the optics of, one, I had a problem with the things, the sentiments that were being preached to, because mind you, it's nothing but mostly women and young women and young teenage girls that come to the youth service. So a lot of the sermons are, feminized or directed to them. And I felt like they were saying things that weren't really helping these girls. So these girls are, one, struggling with real life, struggling to pay bills, struggling with men, the men not coming to the church with them. They got to watch you sit up there and flex and floss and be rich and say, no ring, no ting, while your rich father kept you your entire life so that you could get there. These girls don't have that life. And so I feel like really what it was that I was like watching a play. Like, I felt like I'm
Tyler
watching
Perry?
a production. Yeah. And it didn't feel right. I'm telling you, like, that shit, it just didn't feel right in my spirit. I was like, something about this not right.
Nah, I ain't go.
Mm,
LJ
it's
Simpson,
not
come on,
right.
man. Add some order to this, LJ Simpson. What's the word? How you feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling great. How about you, man?
Another day, gotta get to it, man. I feel good. I got a lot of energy.
Hey, congratulations, y'all, on your 200th episode. I missed that day. I was working that day and I couldn't come through and speak. But
I
a shout
appreciate
out to
that,
y'all.
man. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
keep doing what y'all doing, man. Support the Patreon, y'all. This brother and sister are doing great work. I came as soon as I heard about this title. Um, I'm from Chicago, man. I just want to say, uh, my daddy had a Cadillac. My uncle drove a Ford. One was Satan Angel. One worked for the Lord. They had some hard-earned wisdom. They both became my teachers. I was a young disciple of the pimps and the preachers. That's by Paul Thorne. I want y'all to understand that pimping and preaching have long-standing ties, uh, almost intrinsic ties. When I saw in this video in the jumbotron, all I saw was some ism. That's all I saw. I saw ism in its full glory. Never mind that it's not on a street corner; it's in a church. But it's the same play that we. It's a tale as old as time. This was Bishop Marvin, pimping Marvin. Uh, this ain't enough. What the pimps be saying? This ain't enough. That ain't enough. And I feel like this is on brand for a lot of churches. We've complained. If y'all ever read the book, the Weekend Wealth Transfer by a black woman, I forget the name of the author. Somebody find that for me. The Weekend Wealth Transfer, written by a black woman, explains how all of these monies and funds go into the black church on a weekly basis, and then those funds automatically transfer into white banks and white institutions, non-black institutions. We always talk about how we want to build the community up, and we have all these resources, or we say we want to build the community up and we don't have resources. The fact of the matter is we've always had the resources, and every Sunday those resources combine in these church houses and essentially evacuate the black community. So I just wanted to say I hope we're not too outraged by this. We understand that there are good preachers, there are good pimps, and there are bad ones. This is just when worlds collide, and it's pretty much on brand for this type of work. We're gonna see an overlap.
So
I don't know. I've never met a good pimp, but
Gwen
I do
Richardson,
hear
I
you.
have Gwen
They go by
Richardson.
managers. They say
They
they're
don't
managers.
exist by nature. A sex trafficker cannot be a good
Gwen,
person. Let's move on.
Well,
Gwen Richardson wrote this book that you spoke on, L.J. Simpson. I do want to say this topic is hard because a lot of y'all niggas just think pastors should be broke, and I don't agree with that at all. But I do think
What's
that
broke? What's broke? What constitutes as
flat on
broke?
your
that's a
ass,
fact.
y'all
That's a
think
fact.
pastors should be broke, busted, and disgusted.
Who
That's what y'all
said
think.
that?
Y'all think they should have no ends. I don't agree with
A
that.
lot of black people do feel
Typically,
that way. They
now
feel
is
it's
this
more
the
noble.
what I really want to know how other and maybe I should have questioned it, back when I was younger and I was going to like Catholic mass and stuff. How do these other churches function? Because typically I felt like it when I went to the white people church, they're like isn't it the archdiocese like that pay their way, they pay their housing, they pay for their food, they get like a little monthly stipend, like the overarching,
The
conglomerate
government does pay you to have churches,
pays
correct? Yeah.
the priests and yeah, like they are paid, so it's not
That's
because even
Catholicism, Kenya. These niggas ain't they Pentecost.
I
We
was raised Catholic too,
Baptist.
Kenya. Yeah,
okay,
We
that's
No, it's
us.
Baptist.
That's
not
We
business.
Catholic. Hold
Pentecostal.
on. No, no. You Christians, the Christian churches get paid. The pastors get paid.
No, I'm talking about as far as government, and then you don't pay taxes on certain things and stuff like that. But what Kenya is talking about is under the umbrella of Catholicism, and where there is a hierarchy. There's people that you report to, talk
Yeah, they're
to, stuff like
salaried.
that. As opposed to Junebug, coming off the street. He used to be a pimp. Now he just gonna get in the Baptist church. It ain't the same thing. So where you talking, Kenya? I understand that, but that's not the same for
yeah,
all the
but
churches.
I don't know, so why he can't. I mean, you if the tithes, yes, tithing is biblical. All right, people pay their tithes. If the tithes is enough to cover the expenses of the church and help the pastor with his living expenses, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't think that the tithes are supposed to be used for excess for the pastor or for him to live in excess or to have luxuries or any type
Have
of
you heard?
lavish life.
Have you heard of prosperity preaching? Have y'all heard of that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
watched a lot of I mean, the Creflo Dollars and stuff, and
Right.
the event, the other one, the little white creepy looking guy, the evangelical guy.
So
How
there,
how
there are
do you
two.
preach prosperity and then you look like you broke?
But prosperity preaching
Right.
is bad,
So
Rashad.
there's
That
two
it's
there's
not
two
good.
schools of thought. There's two schools. Kenya, you were raised Catholic, as was I. So we have an aversion towards that type of preaching. But I do want to point out, especially in the black community, in the mega church community, they want their pastors to be flashy. They want them to show out. They want them to have nice things. They want to look prestigious, and they have televised services. It's very much a production. It's very much a show. So there are a large demographic of black people that believe that their preachers should promote and exude prosperity.
And it's like a badge of honor because it's kind of like anything, dog. Like if you like a sports
A
team,
badge
if
of
you
honor. Oh, my pastor fly and yours
no,
not.
but we
The hell
can't
was
like
that?
kind of
Remember Sung Young Moon?
separate
It's
it.
not
Hold
just
on.
black people, guys.
So
It's
I
not
think
just black
that
people.
like I said, with sports teams or with anybody that you look up to as far as athlete or celebrity, it is a badge of honor because guess what? A nigga winning a Grammy or selling records or somebody hitting a home run ain't got nothing to do with your real life. But if you rep them and that's who you with, then you want them to do good. And it's no different from the church. If this is your church and this is your pastor, especially if you're involved in the church, especially if you have a role, you want everybody in here to be a representative to the community. And so, hey, look, my pastor is doing XYZ.
Everybody,
He's the
right? You
leader
just
of this
said
house.
everybody, but in the event that the
Parasocial.
congregation is overwhelmingly financially struggling and the pastor is not, what does that represent?
It usually doesn't happen like that.
And
This
that's a
No,
church,
it,
bad
it
thing.
does.
I,
It
I,
does.
this church right here, it seems like there's about 1,000 plus in here, maybe even more, right? I don't think the overwhelming majority in that space is
That's a mega
struggling.
church.
Yeah, the overwhelming people in mega churches isn't struggling, right? I
Let me
think
look at
that
Apostles Mike net's worth because he probably got one. Child, let me
when
go.
you go to
Well, they
these,
have some
when you go
Rashad.
to
They have
these
some token strugglers in those churches that they like bless. So they do have a small
token
portion of.
strugglers, that's the name of the
Yeah.
space. Token
No, they
strugglers
they
is
need a
crazy.
couple people to lay hands on and that struggle for the rest of the congregation to have like a pity for, so that they can use those people as like promotional tools.
I'm trying to
I
figure
just
out. Hold
don't.
on. Hey, are you up here? Al the Great.
Y'all hear me?
It's messy. I
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can
you.
hear
It
you.
was messing up.
All right, word. Yeah, I thought my mic was messed up. But nah, I play music at a church, and it's all about that money, man. People on salary. You got secretaries, you got musicians, you got armor bearers getting paid, and they need to collect that money. You know what I'm saying? That MVP status when you start getting in that 1,000, 2,000 range, start showing off. Yeah, my homeboy got
Especially
$2,000.
when they got Grammy nominated artists that perform at the church, child.
I
They
mean,
love
he is
throwing
a
out. They got
Grammy
You
Grammy
buying a
nominated
ticket
nominated
with them
artist.
gospel
ties.
artists. Child, as soon as a Grammy nominated gospel artist comes, your time's gonna go up. Just know that.
For sure, but a lot of people get paid throughout the Sundays, and I'm kind of in that space every Sunday. I kind of know what goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes that quarter don't come in all the time.
Yeah, but so you get paid, I would assume per
Every Sunday,
service every
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, per
How
service.
do you feel about pastors or because the pastor probably getting paid the most, but obviously that's just like the hierarchy in any business, right? But other people are in there are getting paid as well. How do you feel about pastors maybe living in excess or other people who are getting paid by the church living in excess?
It goes back to the comment he said as far as a certain amount of money not meeting a quarter. If you're not braggadocious about it's cool. But when it becomes a word of mouth, okay, we need to meet X, Y, and Z. Why we're not meeting X, Y, and Z, I feel like that's a problem.
And
Mm,
if I may add, I just feel like Kenya said, I don't see enough being brought back, like put back into the community for as much money. And just for like in Kenya's anecdotal story, like you guys made $1 million, right? I don't know if you guys ever been to these mega churches and whatnot. You have to literally cut your toe off
This wasn't
just to
even a mega
just to get
church, sis.
just to get help, okay, on your rent, right?
Okay.
You got to go through hella like loops, hella things. Oh, the wait list is so motherfucking
It be
long.
1,000
Woo
people
woo
from the
woo woo
congregation on the
woo
list. Only one girl that month finna get the rent money.
woo woo woo, and they'd be like, okay, y'all made this much money. There's no apartment complexes. Y'all not funding nobody to at least like certain contracts for people to be a nurse practitioner, open your own clinics because that's all you need is an NP, bitch. You can't there's nothing there's
The
no sense of
help.
community at all being made to
Yeah.
where somebody feels comfortable enough to do whatever the fuck needs to be done to make somebody feel like me giving tithes every motherfucking Sunday is doing something for the fucking goddamn community. No, you have your Porsche, you have your fucking you got your Ferrari, you're pulling up, you got these suits on, you acting real motherfucking goddamn loud and proud about the money that you make. And it's just like the other guy said, you're a pimp. There's no difference between a pimp and a pastor. I feel like it's just exploitation of people's insecurities, the lack of structure, and the lack of feeling a sense of fucking community. But the shit's a farce. Like it's really sad because they make a lot of fucking money. It don't take much to you niggas not even building apartment complexes.
I just want to make a quick comment. Doing for the community exceeds who rent you paying. That's one.
No,
What?
And
it can
and
exceed, but it
and
should.
so
There's
and to Kenya's point, if there's 1,000 people on the list, you niggas
you
expect me
could
to
hit
pay a
more than one.
thousand people's rent,
No,
and
you could
that's
hit
the
more than
only way
one
that I'm doing
with
something for
the
the
with the
community.
money that
You might need
no,
to go
it's
to
not.
another church.
It's not about that's the only way. My I think my problem is it's a sense of community, and this was the really big thing for me. Like when I took my shahada and when I left Christianity, like quite literally, I was still working at the time. So my coworker, she was Nigerian, so she's a Nigerian Christian, right? We were really cool, but like we beefed all the time. And this was after me taking the shahada. Like she just kept trying to like switch me back and convince me, and I just kept telling her like I have a very big problem with the lack of community that I experienced my whole life, or that I saw like people in my circle experience when it comes to the hardships of life and what you're battling, and then what you go in on Sunday and you're hearing. And how do we blend those two things to try to make it so that you can lead a Jesus led life a bit better, so that you, because a lot of these struggles, and this is the church was mostly women, so for women based, they were having struggles with motherhood and with finances and with figuring stuff out. And yes, I would have liked to see more community in that sense for them, because when I went to the mosque, that was there. And that's I'm not Rashad, them people gave me food, they gave me clothes. I still have bags and bags of clothes, okay, that these people have given me. They've given me money. Like, she come eat here every night. I don't care. Like, there wasn't pretentiousness. Like, it wasn't like the imams, or the women, the wives of the imams, or nothing. Like, it didn't give that. It was so open, it was so communal. It just seemed like, oh, we just want to help you, because helping you with this stuff is going to help you on your deen. It's going to help you in your faith. So it's like, why can't the Christian church kind of have that take? I feel like it's just such this separation where everybody's going through what they're going through, and they come in on Sunday and they hear what they hear, and then that's it. And then you leave, and it kind of ends there after you done paid your coin to hear the sermon.
I we got Watcher drop down. Come back up here, Watcher. Let Elon go. What's the word, fam? Then I'll
Uh,
respond to that.
oh, it's me again. I think my name changed. Yeah. So the book is called The Weekend Wealth Transfer. The woman's name is Gwen Richardson, a black woman. In her book, she details how $19 billion annually gets funneled into black churches from the black community through tithing, donations, and such. And this money largely goes outside of the community to white or non-black financial institutions, where they use that money to do fractional reserve loans to other people, to make gambling, to pretty much gamble with your money. And so I do think it's a very important topic to highlight, how much money the black churches do take in on a weekly basis, if not a yearly basis, and correlate that with what some of the things that Sweetest was saying, the frustration in the black community with, the lack of infrastructure, the lack of community resourcing, the lack of building, the constant, you know, appealing to the kindness of strangers, and people that want to, like, y'all do the politics all the time, the Democrat grifters, or, those kind of individuals. Like, we see all the time that we're portrayed as having our hands out, like we're begging for things like reparations, things that are owed to us. Like, so I think it's a travesty that we have such a large, strong, historical institution as the black church, and we still have not figured out how to keep this money in black institutions. I would argue that churches at this point, black churches, should evolve into financial institutions. Like, we're almost playing a game, like amateurs. Like, we're doing. You got this jumbotron where this woman is $800 short on her fundraising, right? So this is a business. Like, we should just eliminate the facade and stop virtue signaling with, oh, Jesus was poor and he was a carpenter with sandals and he had nothing. And we want to be like Jesus, and be broke, and be righteous. Like, we need to drop that shit, that virtue signaling bullshit, and get to the business of building our communities through the church, which is what it's supposed to be there for. And the churches just need to become banks. Let's just cut the middleman out.
I think that that's unfair, because if I ask you for 2 grand to bring 2 grand, right? Especially if it's
Are
if
you
it's something,
fucking kidding me?
no, if it's something specific,
Thank you,
right? Because
Sister Avante. Thank you for the
no,
20.
no, no, no,
Thank
because
you.
hold on, because I think we've all been in
Next time.
churches. We all been in churches, and where there have, like Kenya said, there have been fundraisers. There have been situations in where, they say, everybody who got $100, come up here
It
and
be
give
the
you 100.
yes,
If
but
if
Rashad,
they
those
say,
are
if the $100, if you
small
got 20 in your hand and this the $100 line, what you want me to do? You mad at me?
No, there's a way for you to deal with that. And two, the one of the main issues that I had with Spirit of Faith specifically was that I had seen other churches where they did, for the members, the actual members, they did itemized, monthly breakdowns of where the money went. Everybody was well in the know of what was coming in and where it was going to. And yes, they did food drives, they gave out gas cards, they did, they were doing things. But I'm telling you that those were always the smallest churches that had those kind of setups. The bigger and the larger you
That's a
got,
fact.
the farther you branch away from that type of structure.
That's a fact.
Go
I've
ahead,
seen it
Mushy.
too.
What's the word? How you feeling today? Then we got Mick Gotti.
Man, if you tired of getting pimped out, tired of Sister Mary talking behind your back, come over to Islam, man, and take your shahada, man.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. Oh my
mashallah.
Come
god.
to death row.
Mashallah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, like come on over here, man. You tired of them people
Alhamdulillah.
taking your money, not helping you with your $50 that you shut on your light bill,
Dancing.
dancing, praising, getting that fake Holy Ghost. I ain't trying to hear that shit, dog. Look, I've been baptized and I took my shahada. And my grandma, before she died, guess what she asked me to do? Say the shahada and she in her ear, dog. Cause she knew at the end of the
That's
day, like
fire.
she got away from that
It's
shit.
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to tell her all the time, like, that shit entertainment. You know, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, looking at this shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to not believe in it and none of that shit. Cause when I read both of those books, I'm like, bruh, we just got down fighting over the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the same people that's in the Bible and the Quran and shit. And that's what I need most people. That's why I brought that shit up to you the other day when we was on Hotel Space, and he was like, "Oh well, black people went to, you know, our ancestors went to church and shit." I'm like, nigga, that shit was given to us. Like that's why I be hating when people be saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that whole conversation is like, bro, they pimping us. You know what I'm saying? Been pimping that shit. That religion been pimping black Americans for the longest fucking time, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of glad that these conversations coming about right now because like it's okay for you to goddamn just be spiritual, you know what I'm saying? And look at the bullshit that's been going on for years and years. Like it got away from us for a long ass time. You know what I mean? And I seen this clip last night when I was on TikTok and dude like, oh, didn't I say I needed 1,200? Like you ain't listening to me. Man, you talking to my grandma like that, man? I'm gonna go up there and punch you in your motherfucking face, dog. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? She got a look, and that's how it started. Like he doing that right in front of her fucking grandson. You know what I'm saying? So you starting this indoctrination of bullshit right there for generations, and we keep fucking falling for it, dog.
Let me
Like,
ask a
it's,
question before Mick go. Do y'all
go
think
ahead.
that church should like how is it supposed to run? Because it seems like y'all are speaking from a place of like money
Nigga, get
is
rid of it, nigga.
essentially a bad
That's what
thing.
it
Really, I
is.
mean, not the way that it operate is the problem. I never had to pay no money when I went to the mosque. They was damn
You
near
don't
ready to give
have to
me
pay
some.
any money, Kenya.
They
What
was
are you
damn near
saying?
ready to give
Hey,
me coin.
Rashad.
Hey,
You
hey,
don't
look,
have to
hold
pay
on,
no
yeah,
money
like
to listen to no word.
one time, like Kenya just said, you never got to pay. You know why? Because the motherfuckers Muslims that's in there, they take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't. You know what I'm saying? If you got it, it's still a 10% thing. But if you got it, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
That's not what
community
happens in the
based.
black church, Mushy. Niggas forcing
Nigga,
people to give tithe and offering in the black
Rashad.
No,
church.
the way
nigga,
Rashad, you're being
Yo,
yeah,
I think the
disingenuous.
mega
They do
churches give
have.
like the smaller churches like a bad name in times like this where we see this jumbotron entry. This is a mega church. Like we shouldn't compare a mega church. Your local corner church is not shaming people for being $800 short for
shit.
tithes.
Why
Like this
not?
is
Shit.
no. This doesn't happen in
I've never
grassroots
seen it in no
churches. So
small. I've never seen nothing
we
like that
are
in the tiny churches I've been in.
yeah,
Never.
That's how the
we're
tiny church come
conflating at this
up.
point. We're conflating.
That's how the tiny church turned into a mega church. All right, I'm gonna show you what the white people do for niggas. White people start institution. For example, Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts started from the mud. Now he got a university. What niggas don't do, they don't take all that money and build a school, build a Christian school, build a daycare. They want to stay at a lower level so they can get that money, pimp everybody out, drive their Rolls Royce, wear their gators, and do the nigga shit. But white people, they got institutions. That's the difference
That's
between
cap.
blacks. Well, look at Oral Roberts. Go on
That's
Google,
White
type
people
in.
started prophet preaching.
Rashad,
Like
hold on. No,
prosperity preaching started with white people. Like
Hold
they
on,
they
wait, wait, wait.
started.
put
We
a
gotta
hair
get Mick in
salon.
here.
Ooh, because what?
It is
White people taught us how
true.
to
Hold on, wait,
All
wait,
the
wait,
prosperity
wait,
all
wait.
the white mega churches have daycares. Like you can
Facts.
drop
Let's
your
get Mick in
children
here
off,
real quick.
They have scandals
and they
too.
have
Like
Yeah,
and
and
black people don't.
they touching little
they
boys
have a
too.
lot of
Stop
We
it.
scandals.
ain't got to
Go
Should we
ahead.
name them off? Like
I
Oh,
hate when y'all
We
say
got
brother.
that.
white
Hold on,
people.
hold on, hold on. 1 second. We got to get my guy in here. He been up here for a grip.
So now
Mick
black
Gotti,
I
what's
people
the
know
don't
black
touch
word?
on
churches with daycare.
kids.
Hey,
Is a
Rashad, you can hear me,
dismissal of
bro?
children in the black church,
Yes,
and it's
sir.
gonna
I
go
can hear
through.
you. Listen to this hardworking man. Hold on, Kenya.
Yeah.
You know
So
he at work,
one,
pissing
one,
air.
I really hate when people start grandstanding and getting their hate off because they don't believe in God or the church, and then try to use it as like a browbeating moment to tell niggas why they should leave the church. One, this is a mega church. You know what my problem with mega churches? It's always about the pastor and never about God. Two, church requires, if you read your Bible, discernment. One thing my mom always told me was that, hey, if the pastor is demanding something out of you that don't align with your spirit and the word, you have every right to get the fuck up and leave. All right? Nobody is making these people give $1,200 and $1,500. I done been to some of these churches and heard them say absurd shit. Do you know what happens every time? Me and my mom look at each other, we nod, we get up, and we walk the fuck out. Now, maybe if these people decided to say, hey, we've been giving $1,200 to this church for 15 years and we've never seen a return on our investment from the ministers at any point, and decided to actually go to a local grassroots church because, contrary to popular belief, your local pastor isn't driving a fucking Rolls Royce or wearing $1,000 suits and gaiters. That's some niche market mega church marketed bullshit that you niggas be falling for. Oh no, I let everybody else talk. Can I finish? Okay,
Nobody's
thanks.
even talking. Wait, hello?
Everybody talking, that's you go to the back. You
Yeah,
got
somebody
Like
got the
feedback,
what?
dog.
background. Hold on, hey, you got your background popping. Hold up. Go ahead, Mick.
Yeah. So what I will say is this: no, there is nowhere in the Bible where God was shaming people for not giving enough. So if you're at a church where they're shaming you for not giving enough, chances are that ain't the church you need to be in. So what I'll say is this: do y'all make some valid points that some of these mega pastors need to build more of an ecosystem and a better environment for their constituents, their followers? Absolutely. But why would you expect a scammer, a thief? Because this is in the Bible too. They said there will be false prophets, there will be niggas coming to you disguised as pastors, lying to you, trying to steal your money and hustle because it's tax free bread, right? So at some point, I'm I'm not saying that they don't deserve some sort of admonishment, but at some point, niggas got to start using their brains, bro, and niggas got to start realizing that 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 God wouldn't want you to suffer, nor would he want you to be a part of a church that won't help you while you're suffering. So, yes, these pastors need to be held accountable, but so do these niggas that keep walking. So does Nana, Big Nana, and them that keep giving $5,000 checks to a place that don't come visit them when they sick and in the hospital. Because when I went to church, we had a list of things we had to get to. Sister so and so is in the hospital. We're gonna raise some funds. We're gonna have a bake sale for her. Brother so and so's son is sick. We gonna go visit him in there and say a couple of words of prayer for him. Da, 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 shit like that. But those are the local churches. So when you get on here and you preach to niggas about coming to Islam and that sort of thing, uh, while I understand your sentiments, like that ain't that ain't most people's experience. If we just gonna keep it a bean, gang. Like I'm gonna be honest. So, and plus,
I
I was never going to take my shahada because I'm not giving up pork bacon for Allah. You niggas crazy?
listen. I need me a good piece of
Bacon, egg, and
swine.
cheese
Hold
for
up.
life.
Hey,
What the fuck?
one day, I'm gonna tell y'all the story about me graduating high school, and I put a packet together for this big church that I was going to see if they was gonna pay for my college. They didn't even call me back, but we gonna get to that another day.
Ain't you from Atlanta though?
Um,
Rashad.
It's something that you
Rashad.
it's something that you already don't eat in life, goddamn it. Hey, what's one more thing, goddamn? What the fuck?
listen, I lived a hell of a life, man. Go ahead, Kenya.
I think and this is not, it's not a gender worry, but in the terms of who's going to the churches and the women, I feel like for other religions, not even because we don't even gotta go Arab, because I believe it's real. I've seen the same thing for even the Nation of Islam. So the Black Americans, the structure and the institutions that they've set up to where their girls can go through their maturation process in a more sheltered and sanctimonious environment, so that there isn't such a tug and a pull between the life that they have to live and where they're going on Sunday. It was a little bit more streamlined for them, and so they experience different pitfalls. Unfortunately, for the American Black girls, you just got to keep going to church on Sunday and getting shamed, and then going back to where you go back to deal with the same shit that you're dealing with, and nobody else is setting up no systems or structures to help you so that you can be, a good Proverbs God fearing woman.